You know that one friend, the smart one, the one who always had the answer, always saw 3 steps ahead, always made you feel like you were talking to someone who actually got it. And then they just went quiet. No fight, no big goodbye. They just stopped showing up, stopped replying, stopped existing in your group chat like they used to. And you probably told yourself a story about why. Maybe they got busy. Maybe they got arrogant. Here's the thing though. What actually happens to intelligent people right before they disappear from everyone's life is way weirder and way more human than any of that. And once you see it, you're going to start noticing it everywhere. In your friends, your coworkers, maybe even in yourself. Back in 2016, researchers Norman Lee and Satoshi Kanazawa pulled data from over 15,000 people and found something that sounds backwards at first. For most people, more time with friends equals more happiness. Simple. Makes sense. But for the most intelligent people in that study, the opposite happened. The more they socialized, even with close friends, the less satisfied they felt with their life. They call it the savanna theory. Basically, our brains are still wired for the kind of small, tight circle our ancestors actually needed to survive. But if your brain runs a little faster, a little deeper, that ancient wiring doesn't fire the same way. You don't need the tribe the way everyone else does. And that's the part people miss. It's not that smart people hate people. It's that the math just doesn't add up the same way for them. Finding someone who actually thinks at your speed, that's rare, statistically rare. So they start doing something quietly dangerous. They stop looking for a crowd and start looking for just one person who gets it. And when they can't find that person, that's when the real withdrawal starts. They adapt. They shrink. There's a real term for a version of this, camouflaging, usually talked about in research on people who mask how they really think just to blend in. Smart people run their own version of it every single day, simplifying what they're actually thinking, dumbing down their own curiosity just to keep a conversation moving. And on the surface, it works. Nobody notices anything's wrong. They're still showing up to the group dinner, still laughing at the joke, still texting back. But here's what nobody sees. That mask is exhausting to wear. Every single conversation becomes a tiny performance. And over time, that adds up to something the psychologist Elizabeth Pinel calls existential isolation. It's not being alone in a room. It's being surrounded by people and still feeling like nobody could actually reach the real version of you, even if you tried to show them. Think about carrying a backpack that gets 1 pound heavier every single day. You don't notice day 1. You don't notice day 30. But eventually, you're going to set that thing down. And when intelligent people finally set it down, that's usually the moment everyone around them says the same exact thing. I didn't even see it coming. But somebody always sees it coming, just not the people who should have been paying attention. Here's what throws people off completely. When someone spots this pattern in a friend, they expect to see sadness, withdrawal, somebody falling apart. But that's almost never what it looks like. What it actually looks like is somebody suddenly getting really into their work or picking up some intense new project, staying late, grinding on something nobody asked them to grind on. That's not always ambition. Sometimes that's a really smart person filling the exact space where connection used to be. Because deep, focused work gives them something that shallow conversation stopped giving them a long time ago. It's not a breakdown, it's a redirect. And there's a smaller, sneakier reason underneath all of it too. Pacing. If your brain naturally jumps 3 steps ahead in a conversation, you spend a lot of energy slowing yourself down so nobody feels left behind. Do that enough times, at enough dinners, in enough group chats, and one day, slowing down just isn't worth it anymore. So they don't storm out of anyone's life. They just quietly stop showing up to the stuff that used to drain them. And from the outside, it looks like disappearing. From the inside, it just looks like relief. So next time your smartest friend goes quiet, before you make up a story about what happened, remember this. They didn't get arrogant. They didn't stop caring. They just ran out of reasons to keep performing for rooms that never actually saw them. And maybe that's the real question worth sitting with. Who in your life do you actually get to be the real version of yourself with? If you've got someone like that, hang on to them. That's rarer than you think. If this hit home, hit subscribe, because we're breaking down the psychology behind stuff like this every week. Until next time, stay curious about the quiet ones.